Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
And welcome to the newest episode of Just My Opinion. And we're calling this is America. This is America. This is America. Okay. So, we got a lot to discuss. But first, I want to introduce you to someone that's running for some office. I don't know which one it is because I'm not prepared. So I'm just going to introduce you to, how do you want to be introduced? As MT?
Yeah.
MT, baby! Give it up!
Well, you know me and my brilliant ideas, baby. So, it's been a week, as usual. Every week underneath this administration feels like 100 days in hell. So, I had the brilliant idea of, what if I was to run for office? What would I run on? What kind of change and reforms would I need to make? So, with that brilliant idea, number one, there's a couple things that have been on my list for a while. But when I listen to other talk shows or I listen to commentary or the news, and it's like everybody's like this. Everybody's, But, it's like my old boss used to say, you got to be solution-based. Come to the table with a solution. Don't just keep coming to the table with all the issues and problems. Be solution-based.
There you go.
Now, number one on my list is, I strongly feel like the Native Americans in this country have been dealt a really bad hand.
Well, yeah, we can all agree on that.
I think that's something that the majority of Americans can agree on. And without challenging our Constitution for all the constitutionalists, I'm just curious to know what the public would think about the idea of having a Native American group that was primarily for the purpose of helping us with our government. Because see, the thing that we fail to realize, which is the strength of many Native Americans, is one, this was their land. This land was 100% theirs until it was invaded and colonized. And the ideas that they had for preserving, as far as the EPA, as far as CDC, all of these agencies that we have, they've been upholding this the whole time. They're the one that's fighting for us to have clean water and all of these natural things that we need to exist in this planet, in this space. So the first thing I would do is put together a collective, a council, a group, including major leaders from the Native American Party, to help us kind of right this ship. Because we are completely off base when it comes to our environment. We got climate change deniers. I don't care if you agree with climate change or not. I just know it was 97 damn degrees outside today.
My car's still hot.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even get hot, and I was hot today.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, I don't care if you believe or not, but evidence is proving to us there are some things going on. And my whole thing is, what would it hurt? What would it hurt to put a council together of people who are actually interested in preserving the United States, the planet, What would it hurt? It's not going to affect you personally. It's not going to do anything to harm you personally if we put these great minds together, okay? So check that off the list. We got to get the Native Americans back into government. We need more Native Americans in government because I believe, one, they're owed that, but two, they can be extremely vital in the upcoming years.
Yeah.
Okay, number two. The Popo. We got to do something about the Popo. And let me tell you something. I was listening to a debate this morning on AM Joy, and they were going back and forth about this whole Colin Kaepernick and taking a knee and police violence. And there was a black man on there who was, throwing out statistics. It's been this many people, 1,000 people killed by the police in the past year, and that's a drop in numbers. We're actually less people killed by the police. And then the other black guy was like, are you kidding me? Like, black people are still proportionally more likely to be arrested, detained, killed, maimed by the police than any other group. And they was going back and forth. Okay, so I think I have a little bit of a solution to this problem. Now, this is a big problem, and we ain't got enough show to tackle all of it.
No.
But there is I believe, something that we can do simply to help implement better relationships between the police and its community that it serves. I heard that police routinely are trained in what they call ATM, okay, which stands for ask, tell, make. Now, the police officer who I heard that was talking about this said that in police training, let's just say they come up on incidents, they get a call for domestic violence. Police pull up. They don't know what's going on. They don't have the whole picture. All they know is the call was placed, come out, okay? So they come in not knowing what's going on. They have to try to figure out what's going on. The man comes out of the house, the woman comes out of the house. They're both hollering and screaming at each other. One's bloody, the other one's bloody. They don't know who threw the first punch. So what they're gonna do is try to calm everything down, and the first thing they'll do, if you are out of control, if they need to handcuff you, is ask you to sit down or ask you to calm down, okay, whatever the situation is. The second thing is, if you do not comply with the ask, then they're going to tell you. So they done gone from, would you please have a seat, to have a seat.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Tell. The third option is make. Now, you're still cutting up, you're still acting a fool. I done asked you, I done told you. Now it's time for me to use force and make you comply with what I've asked you. Now, this model, in my understanding, is completely wrong. Because I spent 2 years, now I'm not an expert, but I spent 2 years working in mental health. And the very first thing they'll tell you in any mental health situation is to de-escalate. They say it all day long. I don't care what mental health facility and what state across the country you work in, de-escalate. So instead of ask, tell, make, it should be ask, it should be de-escalate, de-escalate. Because what happens is, if you don't stay calm, if you raise your voice, if you attempt to use force, now you've raised the heightened emotion of the thing going on.
Right.
And that leads to further violence. Statistics show that police officers who give both parties an opportunity to calm down and themselves remain calm have less chance of making an arrest. They're not going to arrest somebody because now you've escalated and it's out of control. I think we need to completely reverse the policing model out of this ask, tell, make. Because when we get to the make is where we have some problems. When we get to the make, then that officer uses his or her discretion as to what the make will be. Make could be, I'm going to force you down and handcuff you. Make could be, I'm going to tase you. Make could be, I'm going to shoot you. And we leave this in the hands of people who are not well trained. Police are going to pull up on people in domestic violence, in drug busts, in mental health cases, in all kinds of scenarios, and without the training to deal with each of these scenarios. And you're asking someone who is just as human as you and me
Right.
to make a decision whether that other person gets to live or die.
Right.
That is not fair. Police officers, we've got to redo this training because it is completely back-assward. And I believe that if the training was done properly and we had accountability where the police are not policing themselves, we can make a lot of big changes. Okay, that's my second point. Native Americans, we got to reverse the training for police and get a different type of training going on. But the third, and probably, I'm not going to say what importance level it is because all of this is important. But the third one that I want to bring out is this. It is 2018. Folk, as a country, as a nation, we are so divided. You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
We're divided. It's divisive. It's racist against this group and the neo-Nazis against Antifa and Black Lives Matter and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So the third thing we've got to come together about is we've got to be able to call out violence and hatred where it is and squash it. Okay? We've got to call it out and we've got to squash it. I seen that Spike Lee has a new movie coming out talking about the Klansmen.
The Black Klansman.
The Black Klansmen.
Yeah.
And how, true story of which they infiltrated into the Klan, you know, from the police, and were able to try to do some things. But make no mistake, what a lot of people don't understand about hatred is this. When you've got a group of people who are so hell-bent on hatred and violence and degradation of someone because of the color of their skin, they will empower other people, which in turn empower other people. And then if you look at the videos and the pictures that are constantly streaming out of these MAGA rallies, they look like old-fashioned Klan rallies. And just by the picture, look at the hatred on the face of these people who are pointed towards the media, shouting all kinds of things. Katie Turek said today, somebody messaged her and said, I hope you get raped and killed. And she said, and just in case you think it could have been anybody, the hashtag said MAGA. You know,
Yeah.
it's like we've got to be able to infiltrate, just like, you know how like after 9/11, the country came together and they were like, we gotta go after ISIS. You know, now that's another story for another show, because I believe that the government took down the towers. But let's just get back on topic. After 9/11, everybody in America was united about tearing down ISIS. ISIS, they perceived, was a hate group. ISIS, they perceived, had ideologies that would allow people who belonged to ISIS to kill Americans. Guess what? If you don't think that these neo-Nazi Klan people would like to do great harm to some of your American friends and family, you are sadly mistaken. And we need just as much energy and just as much focus on dismantling these hate groups as we do for anything else that we're dealing with in America. Because the divisiveness and the ridiculousness is getting out of control. And I'm not saying that just for these neo-Nazi groups, but I have not seen any violence that has been provoked by Black Lives Matter. So I still consider them a protest group. But for those who may be on the far left, whether it's Antifa or some of these other people, if they're getting to a place of hatred where violence is their go-to, we've got to get into the middle of these groups, call a spade, and start dismantling these groups. Because as they grow, our future looks dimmer and dimmer for us being able to get along with each other. And those are the three things that I really wanted to focus on if I was running for office.
Okay. Well, I'm not running for anything. I'm not. But I will say this. Native Americans got a raw deal. I listen to comedians sometimes when my week is going haywire. And I listened to something about Chris Rock. And Chris Rock said, I listened to one of his shows, and he said, how many times have you seen two Native Americans together? He called them Indians, but you know, anywhere. How many times?
Like never.
Never. You don't ever see them. And that, first off, is wrong. Because they've been shoved so far away, it's like they don't even exist. You don't even know they're there. You know, Native Americans, are they still around? You know, I mean, that's really what it's like.
Yes.
Which is so wrong. They got screwed. They got chopped and screwed. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I feel that when it comes to having them be a part of everything, they got a bigger point. But when it comes to having them be a part of this government that we have, I don't think you could ask for anybody better, especially when it comes to the earth, because they love the earth, right? Anything that they took, they used it all, and they were thankful for it. They didn't just take advantage and ravage it and destroy it. They took care of it. So I'm with you on that. Two. Popo. There was two, right?
Yeah.
Popo. Listen, I have seen videos of the police when it comes to white people doing stupid stuff to them, that they allow them to do. This white woman was in a car just randomly running into people, randomly, and the police just following. And then she came and hit a police car. Not one gun drawn. Not one. They did not raise their voices. So this de-escalation, they know how to do that. They don't. It doesn't require training. What it requires is to get rid of these racist people who don't know how to deal with folks that are not their color, that are not their race, ethnicity, or whatever, because they're not comfortable. They're afraid already. So when you walk into someplace different, and let me just say this as a black person, when I walk into a place that does not have a lot of me in it, coming from Arkansas, trust and believe, I had fear. I'm better now. But if I'm a cop and I have that fear in me already, and I go into a white area and people clowning, oh, I'm gonna have an itchy finger. Because I don't know where y'all coming from. I don't know what you're gonna do. See, that's the problem. You don't have the people policing the neighborhoods where their people are. I would suggest that we kind of go back to old school policing, where you have folks, maybe they do have two in a car some places, and some places they still have one, but that's not safe. I'm just gonna say that's one police officer in a car really gonna have an itchy finger, because they're not safe. They don't have a backup. They gotta call backup. They gotta wait. You don't know what's happening. So, but what I would suggest is, if this officer who happens to be Caucasian has an issue, has some kind of fear, and you can give all kind of tests and find out. Because I used to work for a city, and we had to take a test. And the test was in orientation. What do you see when you look at these pictures? Now, they showed a black lady, and the black folks said she was, what did I say? Oh, she was strong. She was, she was making her opinion known. She was opinionated. White folks, she's mad. She's angry. She's upset. So you see the differences because we know the faces of our people, but we also know the faces of their people because we've had to learn that.
Learn it, yeah.
Whereas some white people, not all, but some, will look at that face like they did in that class and see an angry person and automatically assume that they're mad and they're gonna be mad and that they're gonna go off.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. When you don't know the temperament of people, when you don't know their facial expressions and you just assume and you go up half-cocked, then that breeds fear. And every time a little black kid is killed, what do they say? I feared for my life. Then you don't need to be operating in that area. Because if a 12-year-old kid with a little toy gun playing in a park is not safe because you feared for your life in a police car, training ain't gonna help you. I'm just gonna say training ain't gonna help you. Because your mind is already there. When you ride through the hood, your mind is already there. You're already thinking, these N-words. Let's be real. We're going to be real, right? We're going to be honest. This is what's going on right now. When people see, I work in a place, and on my floor, in my office, it's 2 of us of color. 2. I mean, I don't want no problems. It's comfortable. Like the best job I ever had. But that's the reality of it. And there's cops everywhere. Because of where I work, who I work for. Cops, I see them all the time. They're very nice, very pleasant. They look me straight in my eyes and say, how you doing? You know, no problems. But they see that badge on me too. So what happens if they're out there driving, patrolling, and they're patrolling in this certain area? What do they feel? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has to be done to improve the relationship between the police officers and the African American communities and the Hispanics and wherever else they have to go. You have to work on people's insides. Because when I saw that during our training, I said, yup. You just showed me what I was thinking happens all of them. This is what I already knew, but it's right here in black and white, per se. So it would be cool if we could train them again, but I don't know, when you have grown folks, and I do know grown people can change. I ain't gonna say they haven't. I've seen people who are neo-Nazis change. But that's an inner work, baby. That's an inner work.
That's true.
And they gotta be face down sometimes. Like these dudes been face down on the ground and had nowhere to go, and they changed because who lent them a hand? Us. Us. This right here is the one that picked them up. So guess what? Oh my God, you're a person. Yeah. I heard somebody say that who was I listening? It was on NPR. Oh, there was a preacher who used to be part of the anti-abortion movement, and he's no longer there. But they played like the leader back in the 80s of what this dude was talking about. I mean, girl, he was crazy. And the preacher said, I was right there with him. I believed the same things that he believed. And he said it got to the point where it was no longer about people. The women had become objects.
Yes.
We didn't even care about their feelings. It wasn't even that anymore. It was their objects and what we believed. We were sanctimonious, and it was about what we believed. It didn't even matter really anymore. And I think that's what's happened, is that it doesn't matter about people, because we're not being seen as people. We're being seen as things.
And numbers.
And numbers. It's too many of them. You know, that's it. So when 3 hate groups, there was 3, right? When hate groups come along, and you have a leader who is really a hateful man, all he's doing is feeding them. And again, that's an inner work. Because these people, when Obama got in office, he didn't do anything. And you ask a black person, he ain't do nothing for us. I mean, that's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you he didn't do anything for black people. He was trying to work for everybody. So everything he did was stamped for everybody. It wasn't about black, it wasn't about white. This was the time that America could have shown who they really were. And because he got in the office, we thought that we were showing something. We had a biracial president. And like Sinbad said, we got our half, y'all take y'all's. But y'all didn't want it. All y'all could see was a black man. Now I'm not saying everybody, but there are certain demographics who only saw a black man with a black wife and some black kids. And what they thought was theirs, the White House.
Yeah, it made them angry.
It made them angry.
Yeah.
And then they want to say, well, no one was paying attention to me. No one was to me. So I'm being discriminated against. And now all of a sudden everybody's going, well, we should have paid attention. Because why Trump is in office. 4-5, and what this dude said, 4-6 - 1 is in office. And so everybody's now like, well, we need to really get out there and talk to them. Why? Stick to your plan. Stick to what works for you. Because when you start playing somebody else's game, that's when you lose. And that's why you lost. Y'all was trying to play somebody else's game, man. Y'all didn't even see it coming. Y'all didn't see it coming. And the person that was telling everybody what's going to happen, y'all hated her. But she told you. He's with Russia. She told you. Now, how would... This was the Secretary of State. She would know.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Y'all, listen. When I said this is America, this is America now. This is America now. And not only that, but I'm about to skip.
Yeah.
Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Watch yourselves. Watch yourselves, because now we got people who want to talk about religious freedom, but they're talking about white evangelical Christianity.
Yes.
It ain't about no other religion. That's what it's about. So watch yourselves. Because you're Muslim, you out. I'm just saying. Jewish, you out. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. What other Buddhists, they don't really care about it. But if you're making inroads, if you're demanding anything that they don't agree with, because old Granny Sessions, he up there then appointed a religious task force. Like, really? What happened to separation
Of church and state. Say it again.
I mean, what happened? This is what we've come to. Because you got a racist president, a narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's a sociopath. This dude is real bad.
Real bad.
He real bad.
Real bad.
And y'all sit up here worshiping the ground that he walks on, and he could care less about you. What he's doing is just feeding you to get you to act up, to get you mad enough to keep him in office. That's all it is.
Yeah.
He don't care about you.
No.
Ask Sean Spicer.
Well.
Log cabin Republicans. You're quickly becoming my most hated gay people alive. And I'm not saying hate in but you know I don't like y'all. And the reason is because, one, how are you guys gonna back a Republican, I'm saying Republican, but a Republican candidate for governor who is anti what you are? Because he's Republican and he stands for what we believe, but he hates you.
Right.
He hates you. So you're gonna put your politics above who you are? Dude, I don't know if it's females in there, I don't know, but I'm saying y'all stupid. It's like self-hating black people. You know, you just sit and look at them. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Once again, here's my question. What is wrong with you people? I just don't understand it. But I get to this point. I had something else. I'll do it. A-train on that. America needs a spiritual cleansing. And I always said America's gonna implode because it's just too much crap. It's just too much crap. But America needs a spiritual cleansing. And it ain't from gay people, surprisingly to you. Focus on the family folks. It ain't gay people. It's y'all. Because you don't show the love that you profess to have. Christians don't follow Christ. Nah, I ain't saying everybody, but again, who am I talking about? You guys,
evangelical.
You guys are really poor followers of the leader. And I ain't talking about you following Trump very well, but I actually think you're leading Trump. But you're following him, and what you're doing is you're trying to get to heaven. So you're just gonna do whatever you can to destroy America and bring on the apocalypse. But the apocalypse ain't what you thinking. I'm just, it's like y'all crazy, and spiritual cleansing is happening. It's what's happening because the dirt has to come up, the dead has to rise, and I'm about to put on my preacher boots right now. The dead in Christ will rise. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: all those people who claim to be Christians, slave owners, KKK people, all y'all claim to be slave owners, all y'all dead ancestors, the bones, all that's rising. And it's rising in you. And now, it's there for everyone to see. So as Jesus said, what's done in the dark will come to the light. And that's what's happening. It's painful for those of us that you hate because you're really trying to crush us. You're trying to crush us. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But I will tell people, keep your heads up. Because they don't have anything that you don't have. What's inside you? What's that scripture? It's greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Well, they looking at us saying we're the world. We ain't the world. We ain't the world. Because we have the same power that's in them is working in us. Only thing is, that power they're using is for evil. And if enough people can wake up to the fact that there is enough power of love in everybody, maybe we can turn this thing around. Because Martin Luther King said, you can't fight violence with violence. It's not going to work out. Even Malcolm X came to that. And I know a lot of people not going to like me saying that.
That's okay. Truth is truth.
But
were you going to talk about the pastors?
Go ahead. No, I got another fact. You go ahead with that. The pastors with Trump. Go ahead.
John Gray.
Oh, God. Pastor John Gray.
First of all,
Pastor John Gray.
Yeah.
From Joel Osteen Church.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
The big tall black guy.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was on CNN.
Okay.
We're talking about why you go. Why'd you go down there and talk to 45?
What did he say?
Oh, because I felt God told me that, I felt led and spiritually to go. And the question kept coming back to him. Why? All these other groups of black leaders have come to the White House to meet with 45. What was it? A photo op. Nobody got a chance to say what they wanted to say.
Yep.
Nobody got a chance to address any issues.
Right.
And yet and still you knew this and you still went. And every time he kept saying, God led me to the... First of all,
I love when
what
she does that.
part of the Lord told you? Because you need to clean all that wax out your ears. Because maybe you can't hear God speaking to you. Because everybody before you, and you thought you was going to walk up there and make an impact. Trump don't know who you are. I wrote a poem a long time ago called Sunshine Don't Know You.
Oh,
Sunshine gonna shine every single day. And it don't know you specifically. It don't know you. He don't know you. You thought you was gonna have some clout with this clown? So you go with the rest of the evangelicals up there on the hill, meet with the president. Looking like a bunch of yes sirs, and now your congregation's sitting there giving you stank face because they like, why'd you go? And all of them, well, the Lord led me. Stop. I don't know who you're listening to, but you're not listening to the Lord. Because the Lord done sent plenty more examples before you to show you what was going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. And then they asked him, would you do it again? Well, under different circumstances, because I thought that we was going to go in there and talk about prison reform. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. And if you did, that means you are what we call a dum-dum. Because everybody before you that had brown skin that went in there and tried to meet with this fool, none of them got anywhere. Right. Did you not see how they did Omarosa? Did you not see that? Where you been? Because Omarosa now trying to get her 15 little minutes of fame, throwing 45 underneath the bus, but she was right up there too, thinking she had some kind of clout. He don't know you. 45 don't care about you. But I will say this, and then we can move right along. What our population and people who listen to us need to know is this. Did you not recognize that Granny, aka Jeff Sessions, under this religious freedom stuff, is trying to funnel money into these evangelical churches so that it can funnel money back into Republicans' pockets.
Right. Right.
And in my heart, I believe that that's why these ministers went to go meet with 45. Because a lot of them got mega churches. Mega churches, mega money.
Yep.
And if all your people, if they gonna make it where it's no separation of church and state, and churches can get government money,
right,
they gonna get that. So they can buy their second mansion.
Yeah.
And they third and fourth and fifth car. While the people in the congregation is steady suffering in poverty. But I didn't come here to preach. But I just want you to be aware that that's what that loop is. Under the Religious Freedom Act, they're trying to let the government, because it was an issue with the schools and the playgrounds.
Yeah. Yep.
And they said, if a church has a school and it has a playground, the government can fund for new playgrounds. Now you're getting on slippery slopes. Yep. That's not just separation of church and state. And if the government can fund that playground, what else can it fund?
Right.
New books, laptops, tablets for the kids, desks, paying teachers' salaries. How far you want to go with this? And then they're also trying to abolish the fact that churches should, this is what Granny wants, this is what Session wants, the churches should be allowed to endorse candidates.
Right.
In the past, they've been like, no, don't do that. I mean, they've even subpoenaed some people's sermons, true fact, to make sure that in their sermons, they weren't talking about certain political candidates. Because if you get money from the government, you should not be able to preach about certain candidates. It's a slippery slope. I guarantee you, a lot of them mega church people was sitting up there smiling and grinning and cheesing for the master. But John Gray, you wrong. You dead wrong. And I'm stop. Like, I like Oprah. I like OWN Network. You know, Yonla and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not watching your show no more. I am protesting. I just had to put that in there. Big old black man in a pink shirt.
Wow, I did not know he was one of them that
He was
went.
sitting right there, yes.
But you know, I didn't pay attention because when I see him, when I see 45 with that orange skin and the little, you can tell he had
Tan
little
lines and the Botox.
Oh, that just drives me crazy. And then I hear him and it just does something to my skin and I just had to. I can't. And then I see all the people, like the second coming. You know, I'm just like, what? Man, y'all. Like, can't. Anyway, we haven't done the A Train in a long time.
No, we haven't.
Well, this is one.
Okay.
But we put John Gray on there because I did not know.
You're going right on the train.
But here we go. Here we go. Illinois State Rep Nick Sawyer. There's some funny ish right here. Ex-girlfriend said that he created an Instagram account and shared nude photos of her.
Wait. Say that again.
Which part?
Just the whole thing.
Okay.
Start all over.
Illinois State Rep Nick Sawyer's ex-girlfriend said that he created an Instagram account
Instagram.
and shared nude photos of her.
Nude. Nude.
Photos of her to get straight men to have cyber sex with him.
Straight men.
Straight men.
There you go.
Because they thought they was talking about her. Shit. Shoot, Nikki. Once again, Republicans, right there under your nose. I love it. I love it when a plan comes together. Y'all just don't know.
And you know what? What cracks me up, okay, so he got to go on the A Train straight to hell with gasoline draws on. And John Gray in his pink shirt, he going. Gasoline all on the shirt, you going straight to hell. But you know what's funny? Every day, almost, I listen to at least a little bit of conservative talk radio. At least a little bit to hear what they say. Sometimes it drives me crazy, I gotta turn it off. But every day, all I hear them say is, the hatred's on the left. The hatred's on the left. They hate us. The left is a sickness. Liberals are a sickness. They're ill, and we got to take our country back. And they always say that the hatred is on our side, that the bad behavior is on our side, that everything that's immoral is on the left. But once again, facts seem to keep proving.
Right.
Oh
man, I read it. I was like, dude, for real?
Nothing but a bunch of Sadducees and Pharisees.
Oh man,
it's nothing I can't stand worse than a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? You grown. If you're a grown man and you wanted to have sex with another grown man, why can't you be man enough to just be like, I want to have sex with another grown man? But no, you don't want to do that because that just shatters your whole little world.
Right.
So now you got to be sneaky, stealing pictures of some poor woman who don't even know what you're doing so that you can have cyber sex with some man. That's because you got no balls. You got no balls.
I'm sorry.
I can't stand a hypocrite. And last thing, oh my Jesus. The same thing with 45. Evangelicals, please. Don't you know that this man, first of all, you already know he's been married more than once. Y'all trying to throw us under the bus for homosexuality. This man been married more than once. What happened to thou shalt not divorce?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Then he had this woman that had these babies. Then you bring Melania over here. Oh, and did they not say that Melania was smarter than Michelle Obama? Did Eric Trump not say that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Eric looked like, okay, we're not going there, but yeah. With a law degree versus a porn star, I'm just saying. But anyway, got Melania somewhere in Yugoslavia, whatever. Got her, married her, she was pregnant with his child,
And we know he had at least minimum 2 porn star chicks on the side. At least 2. Probably more.
Probably.
But
I think there are more.
But no. But they stay trying to throw us under the bus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because homosexuality is a sin and it's wrong, and we should have to call out sin. But you won't call him out on nothing he does.
Nothing.
Well, he apologized to who?
No, he
I
didn't.
hope Melania.
He ain't apologized to nobody. Because he cannot apologize.
He cannot, and he will not.
He will not.
He ain't apologized for nothing else he did, so why should he do for this? But I'm just saying, don't be hypocritical. Don't be hypocritical. It's written all and through the same word of God that you claim to be reading and appreciating and loving the same Savior. So stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stop trying to justify this stuff. You cannot justify that. The dude is wrong. He been wrong. He been doing all kinds of flaky, weird stuff, freaky stuff. You know, we thought R. Kelly was bad, you know, peeing on folk. And look at this. Look at this. It's like Kevin Hart said, somebody come look at this. What is this? And then you got the nerve. Look, he was getting peed on by Russian prostitutes. Don't you dare say fake news. Don't you dare say it. The dossier and everybody else done said something wrong with him mentally, and he got a freaky side. But no, but you sitting in your home is all up and upset because you got an LGBT child or a family member or something like that. But you can't call out this man who's running this country. You need to shut up. Just shut up. Because if you can't be a part of the solution, you are a part of the problem. That's all I gotta say about it.
Well, I will say this. He's ramping up for number 2.
Yeah,
He's ramping up for number 2. So for everybody that's wavering, really be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Because you have to be able to live with yourself. It's not always going to be gravy for you. It's not gravy for us. Hell, it hasn't been gravy for my people since we've been here. Come on now. We didn't even get our 40 acres and a mule.
Not even
we
that.
still waiting.
Still waiting.
We still waiting. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing for us. Therefore, we have to do it for ourselves.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking to y'all people that did vote for him, because I know some of you who listened to us did. You thought something different was gonna happen, but when he started showing his true colors, you started thinking about that. Understand the cognitive dissonance that you are having to live with in order to deal with him. Because that's what had to happen for all these so-called good Christian white folks. When they had all these slaves and they were selling the kids away from the mothers. Understand the cognitive dissonance that had to be there. You had to say, this is not a full human being in order to watch them tear a child from their mother's arms and sell them like a piece of meat. And the same thing when you watch those babies being ripped from their parents' arms and you say, well, they shouldn't have came over here in the first place. That's cognitive dissonance to make you feel okay with some bull crap that you know ain't right.
Yes.
Because you want to be under this man and he don't care about you.
We say it almost every podcast.
He don't care about
backfires. It backfires. For every time they try to pass some legislation, law, something to affect brown people, LGBT people, whatever, y'all keep getting caught up in the same mess.
And that's why you always feel like don't nobody care about you. Because you're voting against yourself.
Yes.
That's
High
it.
Five. That's the truth.
Bam. We
That's the
through.
truth.
I'm through, at least I can't speak for you.
I'm done, baby.
I'm done. Y'all need to go and listen to This Is America. Really watch the video. There's another song that This Is America came from, actually. I can't think of it, but I'll Google it and I'll put it in our notes, because we got to be real. It's getting close, y'all. We need to vote.
Yes.
August 7th,
Yes.
for those in our area, make sure you get out there and vote. Whenever your voting or election time's coming up, get out there and vote, man. Because if you don't, you're just going to keep getting the same stuff.
Right.
And then you're going to be crying, why? Vote.
And just take the time to do it.
Right.
Just take the time. I mean, we sit here and we talk all kinds of stuff, but all kinds of issues. But that's because my vote is my action.
Yeah.
That's my little voice. That's my little 2 cents being thrown into the pot.
Right.
And guess what? There are more of us who really care about the way things are going, who are concerned, who want change, real change,
Yeah.
than it is the other side. But if you don't get out there and show it with your vote, nobody,
Right.
it ain't gonna change nothing. We still gonna be talking about this 2 more years from now,
And who knows where we'll be.
right?
Let's just hope and pray that y'all can wake up.
Please vote.
Please vote. I'm Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
Thanks for listening. We's out. Peace.
Peace.